the. It's the link. I already did it. I will send it again. It's something that I did it, but I will send it again. Just a minute. Just a minute. They asked me. Oh. I have sent to the WhatsApp the link. I have sent to the WhatsApp the link. We are live streaming now. Yes, we are live streaming. I'm We start in 1 minute. There must be a presentation upstairs, somebody to present us. And then the first presenter. Good luck.
Yeah, actually, I would stop sharing for now, just kind of to.
Okay. So we start then.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Damn. How are you? I'm fine. So for the people who are here watching us, welcome to our reunion, SN Roy and Positive Parks. We are here to we are to present the project. We are a group of volunteers coming from different countries in Europe and also China. This is very good. And we are kind of experimenting the reality of stray animals in Thessaloniki. So we went through a lot of activities like going to shelters, helping the cats and dogs, and having a deep insight of what the current the thing is. So through our program, through the different activities that we got, we added some thoughts. We maybe it's not how can I to give you our thoughts, how maybe how to improve, how to a little knowledge of our thing, and that is the point of the simple. So in this symposium, you will have a big program described by our volunteers. So by Angbo Zhao, we created a manifesto, our thoughts and our propositions, so how to improve the conditions of stray animals. So it will be called From Vision to Action, Manifesto Development and Values Alignment. Then you will have a presentation by Scott Hickman from France and England about legal and enforcement practice supporting companion animal welfare. Then you will have by Leah Yeman, Giovanni Imparato Pomares from Germany and Spain, something about food. Food is the thing. Is the thing. So it will be called Beyond the Bowl. Is the need of dry diets in our city strays. After this, you will have something a bit of urban planning. This is amazing by me, but also Silvia Decina from Italy. The urban sanitation crisis, how does poor planning and animal waste endanger our shared earth? After this, we have with me again, I'm sorry, and Leah Yeman, something about the head for strays. Then you will have something by Silvia Decina and Giovanni Imparato Pomares, the subject about the city as sanctuary. Can we reduce shelter reliance by transforming the city into a safe haven? After this, of course, that would be perfect to put some art, and art, it's a arts and education. Then you have by Pavel Petelka something about research and impact assessment, communication, and dissemination pathway and by dance and theater. Well, what a program! So I hope you will enjoy it, and maybe if our contribution can help you to maybe bring a spark in the mind and to improve and to speak and to help the animals. So thank you very much and welcome. I hope you have a good time. I will now introduce our first volunteer, our first contributor to the project, the big man himself, the leader of the project. Its name is Hongbo Zhao.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for Richard for this warm and very welcoming introduction for the whole program. So my name is Hongbo Zhao. I'm from China, and now I'm living in Estonia. So I came from Estonia as a volunteer. And yeah, just a brief introduction of myself. I'm the coordinator of our research team, and also leading the whole process for the how our manifesto making. Just a moment, I will put on my slides. Yeah, so here you go. So I hope everyone can see this. So I would say this nerdy dog here is probably best describing what we're doing. And so it's very studious and very intelligent, and that's kind of the best symbol of our team. So to move on to the main topic, so I'm mainly talking about it from vision to action, about our manifesto developments and the how the core values is aligned with the whole process. Um, so yeah, so we are the research team with the in total like 10 members, and each one of them have their own expertise and the and interest area of the focus. And so while we're here is trying to identify and study the key issues concerning the companion and animal welfare in the city of Thessaloniki. And at the beginning, we came with a very vague understanding of what is actually happening in the city. Just know that there are a lot of stray animals on the streets. Um, with some sort of understanding of probably what's the cause of them, and let's say the no sterilization rates, and also the limited funding and the social neglects. And but that's it. So we start from such foundation, and at the same time, at least from my experiences, I mean, the problem itself in terms of stray animals is not entirely unique to the city or the Greece in general, because I've been to traveling to Istanbul and also my hometown in China called Changsha. We also have, if not the same, but probably like more stray animals in the streets. So why make this particular matters in this city so unique? So that's the question. So with that in mind, we started to dive deep into various of aspects of the causes. So we branches out into three action direction. One's like infrastructure. The second one is the regulation, and third one is the education through the arts. As I just talked about, we do see a high number of stray animals with all these causes, but we are not entirely sure if there's any deeper problems underlying it, because this is very just the surface level. And as a research team, we're pretty unique, and as the only artistic team inside the whole project. So our responsibility is in a very special place in the whole landscape. So we just need to try to map out the problem in a little bit more detail, in a little bit more systematic level. And at the same time, the reality, if this is that intuitive, let's say just by increasing the sterilization rates, providing more funding, or just kind of providing more health resources to those stray animals, or educated people with on their social neglect part, that will be very straightforward and just like flipping the coin. But the reality itself is way more complicated than that. And especially with such city with over like 320K populations. And other issues also persist, right? Like the infrastructure planning on the parking space, and also the transportation accessibility. So the stray animal is kind of one of the issues that we know about the place. So it definitely requires some bit more thorough understanding of what's actually happening. So that's what we're doing. So so why does the manifesto comes into the place? Because the manifesto, we aim for this to become the very solid results and action proposal for what we're doing. And based on our research and understanding analysis on the topics. And the process is very aligned with the core ESC value of solidarities, which I break down into three parts: collective action, mutual support, shared responsibility. And throughout the process of doing the research, we have covered all of them. So let's say for the collective action, we heavily implement a group type of discussion format that's very basics. Yeah, because we need to have the synergies among every members in the team. And for those like major and important issues, decisions, we cast the votes, and so people can and have the opportunity to engage the whole decision making of the research directions and the topic. And lastly, we only move forward only with the full team consensus, right? And so because it's a research, and the end result we're going to achieve is the manifesto. And so we need a very common understanding. Everyone needs to be on the same page to take the actions. So that's why we implement this approach. The second one is the mutual support. So thanks to our accommodation slots system, so each of us have at least one peer from the same accommodation. So whenever there's issues or questions happening, there's always the support from another side in the same space. And for the issue-related subtopic, let's say nutrition, vet care, hygiene, and also the sanctuary. So for this subtopic, we dedicate like 2 members for each topic. So each one of them can support one another with full context and resources. And for this part, lastly, and the senior members have provided all the tools and knowledge to share in the group. So everyone in the team can have the same resources and the knowledge and accessibility to help on their research process. Lastly, the shared responsibility. So as you will see in the manifesto, this is a very collective output from all of us. So so that's the goal we're trying to achieve here, to raise awareness and make the actions in the future to as a proposal. So here we have very collective effort for in-depth analysis. Almost everyone knows the other topics, so that's the results we have in here. And at the end, yeah, as you will see in the manifesto, it has reflection for our integrated outputs. So everything will be very systematic and thorough. So just to briefly sum up what we have been through. So that is our journey from inquiry to action. So we have been through mainly 3 stages of the research process. The first one is on-site inquiry and frameworking. And so we have visited multiple sites concerning the animal welfare. We have talked to the local politicians and have visits to the shelter and help them to clean up and talk to what's happening in the shelter and see the actual situation inside the place, and also the Thessaloniki municipality vet clinic. So, which is, we understand, as the only one public funded so far, with huge work overload in there. And so we gained a very thorough understanding of the limitations and the problems this part is facing. And of course, every day we go travel on the streets, kind of make the observation by ourselves and see how the animals are really living and how the people treat them. So that's kind of very foundation for our observations. And yeah, so that's kind of helping us to gain some very educated impressions that can help further to form the understanding of the issues that we're trying to tackle. So the stage 2 is problem scoping and validation. So we, based on our understanding and the impression, we kind of formulate the 4 key areas of issues, ranging from the nutrition, healthcare, and the sanctuary, as well as the hygiene. So we target those 4 areas, which we think is the most important and matters the most in the city, and combining them with reliable sources and data and verify them, and to make sure this is actually the case. And thirdly, we have the action proposal and make into the manifesto. So which we will see very shortly. So we have action-based proposals from infrastructure, regulation, and educations. So yeah, this is what helping us probably in the future projects to take quick actions and for the public awareness as well. As I just talked before, so we have a little bit part of the frameworking. So this is the framework that we have designed, combining multiple sources about the current study of the companion animal needs, both for the dogs and the cats. So we found out like there's 5 areas of needs. Go through each of the importance. Let's say the from the foundational level to a little bit more deeper level in terms of probably like self actualization and their role played in relation to the humans. So we target this 2 areas of focus, like the biological one and the security one. So where we map out 4 different areas of the problems. So nutrition, hygiene, and vet care, and safe havens. So the next one, the next framework we also use in our research is the 5 freedoms of animal welfare, even though we don't really incorporate that, let's say, explicitly, but we do have the understanding of what the animal, the best life. So let's say like what does it mean to have a good life in terms of their well-being. If those freedoms are ensured, and so at least we can avoid a lot of troubles with the animals. So with that understanding, that's also help us to guide our research and investigation as well. So so here comes to the last part. So we have our manifesto. I will just open this. So the title suggests ensuring integrity. And so integrity here, what we mean by that is because every component of the well-being is very undivided and they're very interconnected to each other. So we need to make sure, and those like very critical pieces are not falling apart, because one's probably affects another one. So yeah, that's why we bring the concept here as integrity. So as you see here, we think that probably if we do conceptualize the whole situation, we think it's actually a managed neglect existing in the city, because people generally have a good understanding of how they should treat animals or what type of resources and infrastructure we can provide to them. But they just simply ignore it, yeah, due to various reasons. But some things you can ignore, but some things you just can't, which you will see later about the consequences of neglecting those things in relation to stray animals and how they affect back to our human society as well. So our vision here, a city defined by the welfare integrity. Again, integrity here is very important. So we envision a Thessaloniki where the well-being of stray animals is inextricably linked to public health, ethical standing, and urban livability. This standard of welfare integrity guarantees the basic 5 freedoms and 5 needs, which I just talked about, of animal through integrated urban planning, legal accountability, and cultural empathy. And we have 4 pillars of strategy to build welfare integrity. So as you see, there's a nutritional one. This is very fundamental. And the vet care, environmental hygiene, and safe havens, which directly links to the most pressing concerns existing. So just kind of for the brief introduction for one of those, because we're short of time already. So the nutritional integrity. So usually so what we found out is that the foods given to the animals, at least either from the volunteers or from their scavenging behavior, are actually sufficient. But the thing is, they usually lack of enough moisture or the water components to sustain their health. So we hereby suggest that if there's a coupling with the foods, there will be the improvements for the stray animals' health in terms of their immune system or their existing health issues. So to move forward, let's say for the same nutritional integrity ends the thirsty bowl crisis, and we have like 3 pillars of 3 directions of the focus: infrastructure, legal enforcement, and education through the culture. So we have very concrete action proposals in here, and which you can see, and also the legal enforcement part, because we do believe the legal clauses are exist, but they're just not strengthened enough in terms of the implementation. So hereby we refer to multiple clauses from the legislation to emphasize the importance of implementing them properly. And also, lastly, which is actually more related to the things we're doing. So we have the edu campaign to raise awareness of the issue. Let's say launch a food is water mural and street sign campaign to normalize the gesture. If you put food, also put water. Right. Yeah. So those things will our research team will go each one of them by their presentation. So and this file will be shared publicly as well, because that's our point. So you will have very thorough understanding about the issues and also the proposal we're trying to put forward. And so lastly, as this one's suggesting here, so each component is very connected to each other, right? So that's why we talk about the welfare integrity. So one is affecting one another. So by bringing them all together, we can ensure the welfare system for the stray animals can be as complete as possible. So thanks so much. So hope this one will make it part of your journey as well. So because this is our shared welfare of the city. Thank you so much. The next one, we're gonna introduce Scott Hitchman. He's gonna talk about the regulation part, and he's expert on this field. So let's welcome him. I will just get this. So yours is a little bit of a smart thing. Okay. Go ahead and share this one first. Basically, you just come
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi everyone, I'm Scott Hickman, and I'll be presenting the legal analysis of animal welfare challenges in animal welfare implementation. So Greece faces a long-standing and severe companion animal and stray animal welfare crisis. Millions of dogs and cats live without permanent homes, a situation that's driven in part by irresponsible weak sterilization practices. In response to this crisis, Greece enacted Law 4830/2021, a comprehensive and ambitious legislation. Everything okay? Legislative reform that's intended to fundamentally reshape the country's approach to animal welfare. So my presentation will analyse the framework by examining its legal structure and comparing it briefly with France and the UK's legal frameworks to identify key reasons why strong legislation has not yet translated to effective outcomes. So the central argument I'll be advancing here is that Greece's problem does not lie in the quality of its law, but rather systemic failures surrounding its implementation. So at its foundation, Law 4830 is built upon internationally recognized animal welfare principles, specifically the 5 freedoms. These were developed by the UK's Farm Animal Welfare Council, and these principles require that animals enjoy freedom from hunger and thirst, freedom from pain, injury, and illness, freedom from fear and anxiety, freedom from discomfort and unsuitable housing, and freedom to express normal behaviors. The law explicitly incorporates these principles, signaling a modern and welfare-centered approach. Law 4830 also establishes a centralized and data-driven administrative structure, which is built upon 2 key pillars. These are the National Register of Companion Animals, or the NRCA, and municipal responsibility. So the NRCA is a national digital database, which is managed by the Ministry of Digital Governance, and it functions as the backbone of enforcement and accountability. It includes a number of sub-registries, such as the Registry for Owned Dogs and Cats, the Registry for Shelters and Welfare Organisations, the Registers of Professional and Amateur Breeders, a national online adoption platform, and a central record of animal passports issued by veterinarians. So this system is designed to allow authorities to trace animals, monitor compliance, and prevent anonymous abandonment. Secondly, the central role of the municipalities in this legislative framework. So alongside this digital infrastructure, municipalities are designated as the competent authorities for stray animal management. They are legally responsible for collecting stray animals, providing veterinary care, sterilization and microchipping, operating or contracting shelters, and also promoting adoption. So municipalities must also submit detailed operational plans, including budgets, timelines, to demonstrate compliance with their statutory duties under Law 4830. Now we will move to obligations of companion animal owners. So a defining feature of Law 4830 is its strong emphasis on owner responsibility, and this is established under Article 9 of the Legal Act. Key obligations include mandatory sterilisation or DNA submission. So owners must sterilise dogs and cats within 6 months if the animal is over 1 year old. Alternatively, they must submit DNA sample to the laboratory for safekeeping and analysis of genetic material of companion animals. A bit of a mouthful, but this innovative mechanism aims to enable traceability of abandoned animals. Next, identification and registration. All dogs and cats must be microchipped and registered in the NRCA. This links the animal permanently to its owner. In terms of veterinary care standards, owners must ensure annual veterinary examinations, vaccinations, and compliance with welfare standards regarding housing, hygiene, and exercise. And finally, there's a strict prohibition on abandonment. If an owner cannot keep an animal, they must notify the municipality and list it for adoption for 2 months. If no adopter is found, the animal must be surrendered for a fee, which is €300 for dogs and €100 for cats. And additionally, the owner will be issued a 3-year ban on acquiring new animals. So this dual track of sterilized or DNA submission system represents one of the most robust owner accountability regimes in Europe. Next, we will move to the Stray Animal Management Protocol. So Article 10 establishes a uniform national protocol for managing stray animals. So they must be collected by municipalities, examined and treated by vets, vaccinated, sterilized, and microchipped, registered in the NRCA, and placed in shelters and listed on the National Adoption Platform. Where shelter capacity is insufficient or adoption does not occur within 3 months, sterilized and healthy animals may be returned to their familiar environment. However, reintroduction is strictly prohibited in sensitive areas such as near schools, hospitals, transport hubs, and military facilities. Finally, on the overview of the Greek legal framework, I'm turning to sanctions and enforcement. So Law 4830 is supported by an extensive system of administrative and penal sanctions, primarily set out in Article 35. These include a £1,000 fine for failure to sterilise or submit DNA, a €1,000 fine for failure to ensure welfare or veterinary care, a £15,000 fine for abandonment, and a €30,000 fine for abandonment of a newborn animal. So serious offences such as abuse, torture, or illegal trade in animals also carry criminal penalties, including imprisonment of at least 1 year. And additionally, hunters face additional sanctions, including suspension of hunting licenses. So on paper, enforcement is actually exceptionally severe and detailed in this new legal framework. So I'm now going to move on to a European comparison of the legal framework. Comparing it to France and the United Kingdom helps provide clarity on how the Greek legal framework stacks up against its European counterparts. So Greece's law explicitly recognizes animal sentience. Its protection extends to all animals, has a strong owner accountability and traceability, and could be compared to the UK's framework. So the UK's framework also recognises sentience for all vertebrates and selected invertebrates. It has a highly developed companion animal regime and also has a ban on third-party puppy and kitten sales, known as Lucy's Law. Now, slightly lower protection is awarded in France, where sentience is only recognised for domestic animals. Stray and wild animals are largely excluded from that regime. And France also has a number of cultural exemptions to normal animal welfare laws, namely for bullfighting, cockfighting, and foie gras production. So on paper, we could place Greece pretty much alongside the UK, which was ranked B out of A to E by the Animal Protection Index, which is quite a high ranking. So overall, Greece's legislative framework can be described as comparable to the UK, and ranked quite highly. But now we will move to systemic gaps and implementation challenges with the law. So, despite its legal sophistication, Law 4830 suffers from severe implementation deficits. Responsibility for stray management was transferred to municipalities without providing sufficient resources, personnel, or expertise. As a result, municipalities were expected to address a complex and quite expensive problem with limited practical capacity. Empirical studies describe a situation in which animal abuse continues almost daily, despite the existence of a very strict legal framework. Secondly, the funding and resource shortfall. So the funding structure illustrates this deficit clearly. Case study data shows that there were multiple years where no government funding was awarded for veterinary services, and state funds were historically allocated to shelter construction. So although the Argos programme, which is the nickname of Law 4830, provides funding for municipal actions, its design is flawed. Funding is linked to expenditure, meaning municipalities cannot afford to spend in advance, receiving less support in the end. This creates a sort of self-reinforcing loop of underfunding and ineffective management, compounded by the absence of reliable nationwide data on stray populations. So lastly, I'm going to be moving to some recommendations. So to address these challenges requires a structural, not a cosmetic reform. So first of all, we must reform funding models, introducing needs-based funding linked to verified stray population data supported by national surveys. We must also empower municipalities by removing legal barriers to hiring veterinarians, provide trained personnel, and grant operational flexibility. We must also promote public education and responsible ownership, implementing Article 31 of Law 4830, awareness campaigns targeting abandonment culture, sterilization, and legal consequences should be put in place. And finally, we should strengthen and standardize enforcement of the new legal framework. We must establish uniform enforcement protocols and ensure consistent application of sanctions nationwide. So in conclusion, Law 4830-2021 is not Greece's weakness. It is in fact its strength. The law aligns with modern European standards and in many respects rivals the UK's animal welfare framework. However, without adequate funding, institutional capacity, cultural change, and consistent enforcement, its ambitious goal remains unrealised. Greece's animal welfare crisis will not be resolved through further legislative action alone, but through serious investment in implementation and political commitment to translating legal ideas into practical reality. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. I will now pass on to the next volunteer presenter. Okay, good luck. Next person.
So, hello everyone, I'm back. Which one are yours?
And can we read the presentation from there, right?
Yeah, we just set up for you guys. So which one?
Beyond
Beyond the here. Oh yeah, this. Okay. Should probably use better way to So how does this one look like for you?
It's a PDF.
It's PDF, yeah.
Yeah, then we can scroll.
Yeah.
and we'll kind of get for the food policy. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
So can we see us or no? Is it possible if we see us too?
I think it's
Want to see it?
yeah. I mean, the camera's on.
I think it would
See.
second.
The camera's on.
Okay, so
Camera's on. Sorry guys, we got a technical problem right now. We're trying to fix quick. Please bear with us. Yeah, I think it's solved. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
okay, so hi, good morning. So today we will present the nutritional part, Leah and I, and the title of it is Beyond the Bowl. Is the monotony of dry diets failing or city strays? And in this case, we'll share the case of Thessaloniki, comparing with the cases in Spain and in Germany. So Leah will start.
Yes. First of all, we provide a bit of statistics because we want to show the hidden crisis.
I cannot move it.
Stray animals. There are 68 million stray animals worldwide, and dogs and cats are facing malnutrition and health risk everywhere. There's a 85% of face food insecurity and inconsistent access to nutritional adequate meals, and three times higher disease risk with the stray animals. In Thessaloniki, stray animals population mirrors the global challenge very well, which we realized in our 3 weeks here. And with the thousands of dogs and cats struggling daily with inconsistent food access and poor nutrition. The consequences are easy because it's weakened immunity and increased disease susceptibility, reproductive complication, and dramatically reduced survival rates, particularly during harsh winter months, which will come in the future. I continue?
Is it you, no? Or
You can also.
okay. So now we'll talk about why nutrition matters, the health and welfare impacts of it. First of all, the importance of it is because of critical health functions. In this case, we have immune system support. They need to have like proper protein and vitamins in their diet to increase their resistance, disease resistance, and then also for the reproductive health. Like it will improve a better breeding. They will live longer as well. Like it's and yeah, the body condition will be also better. And about the malnutrition consequences, also the parasitic infection will become life-threatening. The skin diseases will be less, and the recovery also will be faster in these cases. And yeah, you want to go with this?
In Thessaloniki, we saw an approach of community and vegetarian initiatives. First of all, the vegetarian leadership, which is the local vegetarians like Monolos Borisi spearhead integrated sterilization and feeding programs that combine population control with nutritional care, ensuring strays receive both medical attention and adequate food resources. The second one is the vegan cat watches. This is a pioneering project, established permanent feeding stations with clean water and food that is monitors health condition regularly and creates sustainable care networks for Thessaloniki stray cat colonies and pop-up spaces. And on the third page, the neighborhood networks collaborating with local residents, ensuring ongoing feeding schedules, welfare monitoring, and rapid responses to health emergencies, creating a compassionate safety net for street animals across the city. And we continue with the German perspective, the Streits model, STRAYZ. It's social pet food for strays. It is in 3 steps. First, you buy one and give one. because every premium organic pet food product sold counts feeding, medical care for strays globally. And then secondly, it's a global impact. The nations reach street animals in Europe, Asia, and beyond through verified partner organizations. And lastly, the measurable results, which is transparent tracking, ensures customers see exactly how their purchase help animals need, which is important because it contains money and we want to see where it goes. You can see through the statistics that it's 100% organic ingredients. There's more than 3 million meals donated since 2020. We hope it becomes more in the future even. And yes, it is a nice organization based in Berlin that you could support and help the animals with that.
In the case of Spain, we'll talk about the street cat rescue and about feeding and medical support. First of all, about the daily feeding, there are like a consistent scheduled meals and established feeding stations to ensure that the animals are not starving in the streets. And then also a medical care in which veterinary address injuries, infections, and chronic health conditions. Also, there are community volunteers dedicated. There are dedicated local supporters who maintain stations and monitor animal welfare daily. And then also neutering programs to control this population of animals while maintaining also the colony health. And one case is the street cat rescue in Costa de la Luz, which exemplifies community-driven nutrition programs for stray populations. And yeah, basically they have it's like a good example to follow here in Thessaloniki, since it's also a Southern European city. You want me to go with that?
Yes.
For nutritional guidelines, we'll talk about the European standards for stray animal care, which mainly we can find them in Northern European countries like in Germany, France, or yeah. And first of all, the energy requirements to metabolize, the purpose is to give them metabolizable energy calculations based on body weight, activity level, and environmental conditions. Then also protein amino acids, so it will improve this the health of the animals by giving this kind of food. And then also vitamins and minerals like there are micronutrients like our vitamin C, D, A, calcium, etc. And here you can find a guideline, a nutritional guideline for the PADIF in 2025.
So we had enough time to look at the current challenges in Thessaloniki and find opportunities that are promising a better future. A big challenge is the limited funding, which is insufficient resources for consistent nutritionally balanced feeding programs across all stray populations. Then there is a huge infrastructure gap because there's few permanent feeding stations with proper storage and hygiene facilities. Mostly it's just random food dropped on the streets and not very clean. And the problem is also that we know little about it, and there is knowledge deficits because many well-meaning caretakers lack education on proper nutritional feeding and feeding protocols. And lastly, the coordinating issues, which is that fragmented efforts without centralized organization or standardized approaches are not coordinated well. But on the other hand, we have the promising opportunities, which is the straits, which I already talked about, the partner with local pet food business to create buy one, give one, which is our mantra for this entire thing. We also have the Scale Street Cats Rescue, implementing community feeding stations with volunteer networks. And the EU funding access leverage European animal welfare grants for infrastructure development in the future.
For the call to action and to build a sustainable nutrition network in Thessaloniki, first of all, we need some strategic partnerships For this, we'll maybe establish collaborations with pet food brands in the region, welfare organizations, and veterinary clinics for any kind of donation, also with citizens of Thessaloniki, and maybe implement some kind of programs, agreements, etc. Then also, like maybe implement some volunteering around the city and make it more important, and encourage, yes, like local people to work with these animals. And then finally, some community awareness, like maybe launching a public campaigns, highlighting the high critical link between proper nutrition and animal welfare. And yeah, as I was saying, encouraging citizen participation and support for feeding initiatives.
And together we stand for healthier strays, nourishing Thessaloniki's animals for a better future. And the foundation of welfare is proper nutrition, that in cornerstone of successful stray animal welfare and human population control. And then we should lean on to proven models, like we could learn from Germany and Spain street cats rescue, how it could be, the problem could be tackled better, and initiate eating programs. And your personal rule can be to join us in transforming stray animals care through evidence-based nutrition and compassionate community action. We thank you a lot for listening and hope that it was interesting to hear about the nutrition as part of Thessaloniki stray animals.
So yeah, that would be everything. Yeah.
That will be it.
Yeah, so thank you for listening, and yeah, let's gonna continue on the next topic with our colleagues. So yeah.
Well, this is wall. This is nice.
Do
Okay. So again, I think it's which one?
companion, inclusive, and human sense. It is the one.
Nice. Oh,
Maybe,
PDF?
yeah, the PDF is better
yeah, but
Do you think the PDF or the PowerPoint?
because the PowerPoint maybe was without the images.
wait, I have to kind of get this one. Yeah. Here. Double check.
Okay.
It's kind of sharing as expected. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, here you go, guys.
So there was-
Yes, just a moment. Yeah. Go ahead. I would check downstairs as well. Just make sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, I'm Silvia. I'm here with Richard, and we want to talk about companion inclusive cities and urban sanitation crisis. So, like our research is focused like on how spatial neglect and animal waste, but also like the governance failures can endanger the urban health. That is something that we noticed a lot like during these weeks here in Thessaloniki, especially like because the city is very, very dense. There are a lot of people, but there's like a lot of cats. And we noticed that the public space is not very planned like now, with like a good right intentions, and so like the infrastructure is very inadequate to like sustain all this like big quantity of cats and also like pets in general. So like how we focused on how like this animal waste can be like a public health risk and can also like create social conflicts and like a lot of other problems. So okay. So yeah, the first part is like about like statistic and data like analysis about Thessaloniki. So like the spatial scarcity, we found out that like only 2.6 meter of like square meters of green space per habitant there are like in the city, while like for the European benchmark there should be like between 8 and 10 square meters. So like there are like these islands like in the city that are like very like heated, and there are like a lot of problems related to the fact that there are like not green spaces. So at the same time also the sidewalks are very hostile because like they're very narrow and discontinuous, and this is like should not be a problem like if there were like other infrastructure like to help dogs and I don't know, people like to walk in the streets, but actually there are no sidewalks, and this is also like a problem. So and then like the housing exclusion, because there are like a lot of no pet practices. So there are like housing instabilities that drives animal abandonment and to downstream sanitation crisis. Okay. So this is what we were saying about like the fact of the infrastructure. There is like a big visibility of stray animals, a lot of cats, but also dogs. There are a lot of people like caring about them, but still 91.4% of respondents, like in a survey, reported that the dog owners never collect excrement, and this is like a very big problem for the health issues. And so like usually if non-collection becomes like a perceived norm, people are not going to expect other people to collect the excrement of animals. So like usually the animal welfare relies on volunteers and NGOs, and this is what like we saw like these days also like with our visits to the shelter and to the stray cats vet, and also like there is a lack of fundings, so like there are often like burnout and a lot of conflicts between people that are feeding, the fact that the street is not clean, but still like people want to help the animals, so it's like very, very problematic. And yeah, and this is like more scientific part. So like we saw that there are like these different like problems that can derive from the faces of the animals, especially like from the one of dog and cat, because they contain this parasite that is called Toxocara, that can infect humans through contaminated surfaces, playgrounds, shoes, strollers, and yeah. Then there is like also the antibiotic resistance. So pathogenic bacteria in animal waste that includes strains associated with antibiotic resistance, spreading through rain, runoff, and contact. And then there is stray health risks. So like we found like this research on Thessaloniki's urban stray dogs that documented significant ectoparasite infestation, like linking findings to zoonotic risk prevention needs. So yeah, there is like this very high density use in the city, low compliance, and yeah, and weak municipal capacity. So these three things overlap, and in Thessaloniki. So yeah, this is like what we found. So I give the first presentation.
Okay, so in this point, we know, thank you, Sylvia, for the explanations, for the situations. So we know that Greek regulations we can include fines. as you can see on the presentation, they include like 100 euros of a fine for failing to collect animal waste. But the issue is not illegal absence. It's more like translation into everyday human practice. So, Thessaloniki, we know, those possess institutional capacity. Notably, there is a municipal veterinary clinic who can provide a service for stray animals and companion animals of vulnerable residents who maybe don't have kind of money. But the thing is that this capacity remains weak connected to street level sanitation system. So, either maybe we can maybe something. I come from France, so maybe we can learn something about France. So we say that in Thessaloniki, we animals are highly visible. There's a sanitation support uneven, conflict-driven response, and informal care network. So there's visibility, but without infrastructure, and then that can create conflict. So maybe French city, have also struggled with animal waste, but increasingly they try to treat it as a routine municipal sanitation issue and not as a moral debate. Well, for example, we have the clear fines. So, for example, in the city of Le Havre, very nice city actually, you can there is a fine of like 135 euros for that. You have also a dense network of bag dispensers in bins and bins. That's how we say it, bins. Yeah, especially in Paris, but also in my little city in Limoges. You have dedicated dog areas, also in Thessaloniki, but in France we have a lot of things. And open data on infrastructure, so public inventories of sanitation infrastructure as open data. So that the point is that to say that infrastructure without visibility can create exclusions. So yeah, and then what we want maybe to decide, or what we are thinking, is a companion inclusive sanitation manifesto for Thessaloniki. So we have different propositions. One is to make compliance effortless. So then dense bin networks at park entrance, dog walking routes, bags dispenser paired with bins, and they can be maintained as essential urban consumable. Two, treat cleaning as health protection. So, schedule micro cleaning of high football zones and park gates, playgrounds, perimeters, bus stop, to prevent all this one-off contamination. Three, to build a credible enforcement. So yeah, warning, fine, targeted patrols, focus on places, not stigmatized groups. Four, integrate one F principles, also to expand parasitic controls. And five, engineer social norms. So procedural signage, public reporting on infrastructure performance, and measure the success through service reliability and not moral compliance. So yeah, that's the kind of thing, and maybe we can have some indicators in mind. So the percentage of park with bins, dispenser with stalking, uptime, falling density audit, complaint volume, spatial distribution, and veterinary outreach coverage. So that's it. That's what we were thinking about, and maybe what we want to share to you. Thank you very much. Bye bye. I think I stay here.
You have to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm here with Leah. Okay, can we put this on full screen? Yeah, sure, man. Perfect.
How was it for you guys?
No, good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Enjoying the process.
Yeah. Just
during the process. So which one again? This
it
one?
is this one.
This one.
Yeah, I can start.
And I can do the last next. How many? We have 16. So you do the first 8, and I do the next 8.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I have to plug my computer.
Okay. Can we start?
Just go.
You can go. Okay. So we are back again with Richard and Leah. No, the next subject is addressing the veterinary head gap for strays. So we would like to give you a sort of comparative approach, different kind of thing, France, Germany, and all that. So what I want to say to begin is that in Thessaloniki, we noticed a sort of critical shortage of veterinary head for stray animals. Like it ends beyond the animal welfare, and that can pose significant public health issues, governance, and infrastructure challenge. That's what this presentation we examine the sort of systemic issues and maybe propose actionable solutions. So, tac, tac, tac. So what we have is a veterinary health gap. The thing is that a city can have compassionate citizens and still produce systematic neglect if care depends on improvisation. Of course, in the Thessaloniki context, the shortage of veterinary aid for stray animals emerged when three systems fail to connect. One, the street reality. Daily struggles persist. Untreated injuries, chronic diseases, prevalent parasites, and uncontrolled reproductive cycles. Two, the veterinary capacity. So, okay, this is existing clinics, but they struggle with affordability and logistical accessibility for strays. And that lead to widespread suffering from preventable condition. And three, municipal pathway. So, legal responsibility for animal welfare are often undermined by uneven operational capacity and inconsistent funding across the municipality. So all these fields can create a predictable backlog of untreated animals and a circle where public concerns rises while the system remain overwhelmed. We have determined some clinical symptoms who are kind of an evidence of neglect. For example, untreated injuries and preventable suffering. The Thessaloniki reality includes routine observations of these kind of things, untreated fracture and wounds, low vaccination rates, and high parasites loads, which is for us indicators for inadequate veterinary response. We have seen also, as we quite said it with Sylvia before, parasites and zoonotic risk. So yeah, widespread parasite pressure among strays, fleas, ticks, worms, and that presents a significant zoonotic risk, and that it highlights the public health implications. We have also, it's not on the presentation, but I'm maybe a sort of low identification process in Greece that undermines accountability and care pathways, and that of course they decrease the abandonment, complicated reunification with the owners and animals, and expand the stray population who needs care. So we know that also in Greece there's some funding like this, the Argos program, with explicitly framed as funding to support municipalities in providing stray animal welfare. But how the practical question is, how can we convert national funds and legal mandates into a local veterinary follow-up? So that's it. And then the puts then the systematic challenges and the potentials. Oh yeah, this is all the thing I always talk already. So structural drivers of shortage. So we have a sort of volunteer selling. We shelters other lines of volunteers that though are not a lot, so that leads to burnout, limited care. We already talked about this due to constraint in time, money, and transport for injured animals. Emergency economics, so expensive sometimes, high cost, high urgency stray medicine, woven results in the triage for affordability rather than actual need, which leave many critical cases untreated. Fragmented governance with inconsistent operational programs and resource allocation across municipalities, which create bottlenecks in service delivery. And of course, there is nutritional monotony. So this is very good that the population of Thessaloniki, I saw it, helped the animals. Amazing. But the part is that they put dry food, bread, and garbage, and that can contribute to weakened immunity, dental issues, and slower healing, which increase then the veterinary demand. So yeah, what maybe I would like to see. It's not a lesson that we want to give, but maybe if you can give something, a little thing about France, France institutionalized the pathway. Maybe we can take from France an explicit municipal responsibility, because French law mandates that every commune establish a contract with a pound in 4 years, en français, ensuring a default pathway for stray animals beyond informal networks. Of course, sometimes these pounds, there's a lot of animals in it, so it's not perfect, but maybe we can have this. Contracting models. So communes frequently partner with foundations, associations like 30 millions d'amis, Fondation Brigitte Bardot, to manage the foyer, creating scalable and stable public services. And of course, we have something in France that's pretty cool, I think. It's identification and handover rules for this is sort of emphasis on traceability, public guidance that ensures that strays are transferred to 4 years for identification and legal holding periods, that promoting reunification. For me, my personal story is that I lost my cat one day, and hopefully we had the identification. I was able to retrieve my cat, you know. They called me like, hey, we have your cat. And I was like, oh, thank you so much.
Thank God.
Thank
Be a good
God.
performance about that.
Yeah, I should do a performance, totally. So yeah, this is something like that, a comparative insight. Yeah, the Thessaloniki versus France. So we all both have challenges. Of course, we are not perfect. Yeah, Thessaloniki, you can see high visibility of strays, strong informal care networks, limited predictable veterinary infrastructure. In France, we have something internalized, and we try to contract a mechanism and reduce unmet needs for care. So yeah, do I see to that?
You do this and then I
Okay, so maybe what we can have as common solution is, like we said before, municipal emergency veterinary fund to transform help when we can to care as a system, and that Thessaloniki can establish a ring fence fund for critical veterinary service, trauma care with fractures and deep wounds, urgent infections, emergency sterilization in high-risk cases, parasite treatment, and vaccination campaign. And that will be great because it will align with the Argos program's logic, that then enabling municipalities to purchase service effectively. We have also a solution B, and this is for Léa.
Yes, this B solution would be to have mobile veterinary clinics. I saw these in Istanbul and thought about it because it's on-site assessment and first aid, because the trucks, which you can see in the picture as well, they provide immediate wound assessment, initial treatment for common injuries, and then they can also preventative caretaking, delivering routine vaccinations, deworming, and ectoparasite control to reduce disease spread. And it is helpful to reproductive health checks, conducting pregnancy checks, ensuring referral tickets for partner clinics for advanced care or sterilization. And our all other solutions are CDD, which is comprehensive approach for sustainability. We start with formal partnerships with veterinary education, institutional cooperation with, for example, universities that are rotations and supervised clinics, and they enhance the capacity and maintain high standards of care. Secondly, the prevention campaigns could be for vaccination and parasite control, implementing citywide campaigns with measurable targets, reducing emergency caseloads, and establish vital public health infrastructure. And on the nutritional, again, is clinic prevention, introducing vet-approved feeding guidelines and pilot vet food days can significantly reduce chronic illness, improve healing, and lower infection burdens, which we saw is not a good thing to have the always dry food. There's a lot of issues. Wait. There's a lot of issues that we already saw, and this is why I want to present my personal project, which was to like stencil around Thessaloniki. Unfortunately, we only did it yesterday, so I don't have the pictures from it, but we saw that there is an issue and we are not aware enough of it, and in Thessaloniki it will help to have daily reminders, which is our goal, and these reminders making us aware that we should take care of our furry friends. And this is the basic idea. It's to create stencil and making something physical that activates people and they encounter in their daily lives. And it's a trace of awareness around the city. It can also fit as a workshop, which could be a very helpful tool for the future, where kids can experiment with a new art medium and see that they have voices, and also that their voices are being heard just by being visible on the streets. This is how the process is being. It's a quite simple project and like habit. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is the way of making it. But with every creative process, you have to first think about what is the biggest issue and what problem needs to be addressed. And after you've figured that out, which is for us the animal care and animal issues with the stray pets, you come and find out how you can create a meaningful message with that, like a short sentence or an image that puts all these informations into one thing that is very easy to be understood by people that see it. And you just need a cardboard for that, and I put the alphabet on it because it's important to have bridges so the letters don't fall apart, and you have this typical street style hand lettering, which you can see in the pictures. Then after you have that and wrote all your messages, you cut it out on a cardboard, like in the picture, and then you just need to find a place to spray, which was the park in Uliczny.
Karasato Park?
Kalasato Park
Sorry.
for us, so you can
Yeah.
go there and find our traces. And yes, then you're ready and can use stencil how much and how often you want. This is some inspiration pictures we took again, and it is an easy tool to do. You can do it underground. It's not. It will wash off eventually, but it is a message that stays for a bit, and this is what we want for the animals.
For animals. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you to you. Then we leave you with Silvia Decina and Giovanni Imparato Pomares. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
So which one?
This one.
Yes, this one.
This is very good topic. This is very good topic. Share this step. Yeah.
Hi, so we are Silvia and Giovanni, and today we'll talk about the city as sanctuary for stray animals. It's basically related to urban stuff about stray animals. And yeah, in this case, it's about Thessaloniki and how we can transform into a safe haven. So Silvia will start.
Okay. So these are like the main issues we are discussing today. So for what we noticed, like in the city, we were talking about like the over reliance on animal shelters. We had like a visit in a vet, as we were saying before, to a vet like for stray animals, and we also like visited another shelter in the city. So we noticed that Thessaloniki depends heavily on animal shelters and rescue organization to care for stray dogs and cats. And there is like it always face overcrowding, limited resources, and high stress levels for the animals. So like, and these like we understood like from interviews and from what we saw like in this experience. Then we also like the support, the urban support systems are very fragmented. So like the veterinary service, feeding programs, and all the other initiatives are often decentralized and inconsistent. So like there is no like there is not something that is lead from the municipality, and there are not like a lot of fundings for this kind of projects. So it brings like that the stray population is going to grow more and more and more because there are no programs for sterilizing cats and dogs. Then, as we were saying before, also like the urban environments is very unsafe because the roads are very busy. There are a lot of abandoned lots and industrial areas that can make like pose risk of injury or death to stray animals, but can also bring injuries to the humans that are living in that close to that context. At the same time, we noticed that there is like a very big community engagement. So we saw many animal shelters, and despite the large number of stray animals, it seems that the community takes good care of them. So we took a lot of photos about like these houses in the streets and a lot of like sort of refuges for the animals all around the city. And that's why we were talking about like rethink the city as a sanctuary instead of rely on these shelters that are usually like rely on volunteer work, and I don't know, in general, like they try to separate the animals from the human community, while there are a lot of people taking care of animals, and it would be nice like to create this like super big sanctuary in order to co-live together in a safe way. So these are like in general the evidence that we collected. So we try to make like a spatial mapping, locating like the stray animals and high density hotspots. We were like divided like in different parts of the city. So we were having like walks and we took a lot of photos, depending also on the architecture and the urban plan of the area. And especially like in our house, we noticed like close to the old town, we noticed that there are a lot of abandoned lots, and that could be like a sort of like hint in order to reappropriate this space and to create safe havens for cats and stray animals. Then we visited the shelter, veterinary clinics, and we saw a lot of feeding stations, but we also saw a lot of dangerous areas, so a lot of cats like in the bins all over the city, or like in industrial zones, or streets like very trafficked with cats and dogs like walking without paying attention, of course. And so we had like few interviews with the shelter, with the people at the shelter, and the people from the vet place. And we made like also policy and program analysis, especially like in the previous presentation, the one with Scott. So analyzing which are the welfare regulations of like both in a local and national level, but also like comparing different countries. And we also asked the people that were working in the shelter and in the vet about like which are the existing municipal programs for stray population control. And actually, like there are a few, but still not enough for all the stray animal population. And yeah, and then we were like also analyzing some case studies in order to understand what can be done, especially like with a special focus on France and also other countries that we were discussing during these days.
Now I will talk about from shelter-based care to city-based sanctuary. So it's basically not the same, since like we don't want the animals to stay in a shelter, but stay like in the city freely and live well, integrated into the city society. So for this, first of all, we analyze the citywide stray animal network. In this case, we will create micro sanctuaries across neighborhoods rather than concentrating animals in shelters, which when we see them there, they're not nice, they're so lonely, they're so depressed there. So we do it in a different way. And then also small feeding and resting stations integrated into parks, squares, and public spaces. And then also trap, neuter, return programs. Like this systematically neuter and vaccinate stray populations to reduce overpopulation and also to reduce any kind of diseases. And then also pair with identification, just they can be colors or microchips to track health and behavior. So in case like maybe a stray animal is ill or something, they would take it, they would vaccinate it, they would take care of it with the municipal taxes. And then also an adaptive reuse of urban spaces. So also we can convert abandoned buildings or unused lots into safe refuge zones. Like in the case of Thessaloniki, there are parks with like a lot of abandoned buildings that they can be reused for any other topic useful for the city, and in this case for the animals. And then also combine shelters with small clinics and community animal care hubs, design urban environments that protect strays from traffic, pollution, and hazards. Also, we can make some safe public spaces, design urban environments that protect strays from traffic, pollution, and hazard. Yeah, as I said before, I don't know if the same. No, yeah, provide shaded areas, like put wet water stations so they don't drink from like water in the street, which is not nice, and they can contain some infections. And also quiet zones in parks and streets. Then also community engagement. So it's very important, like to control and to take care of these stray animals. Like the people around, they might be engaged and interested about this, and they should care about them. So yeah, like they will participate in feeding, fostering, reporting, and volunteering. Like we have to encourage them to do that. The measures will be maybe we have to think about more them, but they have to be measures to these people to do it. And then also in the schools, make some educational campaign to shift public perception toward care and coexistence of animals. Like for example, the performances we did in schools about stray animals, the children, they really like it, and it was in a very educational way, like they can implement it and they can be more, they can think it more about it. And then also a city as an infrastructure of already places of animals to live. There are a lot of like cover places, parks where animals can live and stay better than any kind of shelter. And yeah, like Thessaloniki as the countries in this area, like Turkey or something, like there are a lot of animals in the street. And yeah, like it would be nice to make a living sanctuary and integrating veterinary care, food provision, safe urban spaces, and community programs. Not just also because of the animals, which is very important, but also because of the tourism. Because like a lot of people find it very interesting, these animals in the streets, like comparing to places in Germany or in France. And yeah, they reduce for that also reduce reliance on traditional shelters by allowing animals to thrive within the city itself. Like they would have a lot of space, they will have love for, because people will touch them, they will stay with them, they will play with them instead of being really just there.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's all.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hope you like it.
Bye.
Bye.
No, I think it's Pablo, then you were from like very, let's say, second, then a third to the last one. Here.
Go.
Hi guys, I'm back. Let's welcome our very lovely Cara from Italy,
Yes.
and who's gonna do the presentation for us about the cultural and education parts to raise the public awareness of the animal welfare. And yeah, he's gonna bring us some amazing examples around the world. Let's watch out. Right now, I'm just gonna bring. Yeah.
Like I can present.
What? Second. Add to arts. Nice. So this one. I'm gonna set up this for you. Slideshow you. Okay. So just kind of,
Okay, I have to. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's something now.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Thank you. And I cannot like remove this.
Oh yeah. Just one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Come here a little closer, so people can see you.
Okay, like this. Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Chiara, and this is my presentation. Like I had to talk about Edwards in the different groups. So it's like this is the first part. It's talk about the feeding, like the food of animals, stray animals, because in the city, stray animals like it often. So I'm dry food like every day. So it's always too bad. It's for their safeness and like this nutrition monitoring is combined with dirty streets that makes animal weaker, more dehydrated, and more exposed to disease. So it's not good for them and not good for us. Like this is a fact that most people don't see this as a problem because food is given with good intention, but feed matters how much if the food we do this. So we can like make this problem visible through the arts, like for example, thanks to murales on sculpture or those things. Teaching small everyday action is a fundamental part of this project because water we can do like better food for animals. We can clean the roads and everything where they live. We can not only give like only bread or dry leftovers and maintain feeding areas clean. And yes, we can also like educate children through creativity. Like with this picture, we can see like a children that is painting or doing something with artistical things, and like in this way, children can understand and sharing also responsibility and those things. Okay, oops, sorry. This is so important for our mission because it's the fundamental of hygiene and the society. And it's a slogan, this like a cleaner, more conscious city, safer for animals and humans. It's like obviously. We have also to focus on the hygiene problem. Like we have like if the city is not like so clean, we can develop parasites, infection, and other things. Like it's so dangerous for humans and also for the pets. So we have to prevent this. Like with ours, we can make this obviously. Like this is a famous paint, and with the mask and everything, it's like to prevent and develop conscious in human mind. Yeah, it's like a clean space. It's a safe place. So we can also like educate children, like how I said before. And we also have the vet squad. That is a big problem, for example, in big cities, because there are a lot of pets that cannot like have the cure, like the veterinary cure. So it's like they need our help, and we can prevent like with vaccination and with an anti-parasite systems. And this affects like everyone. Like I was showing this picture with, we can clean them, we can prevent parasites and everything. We also talk about like places where animals can live, and for example, the shelters, because shelters, some people think that shelter are a safe place, but it's not like this, like, because most of the animals like are in the shelter, but are like too much animals in one little space, so it's not good for them. And with art, we can, in education, we can prevent this and like helping them. For example, those are some solutions, short term, for example, for now, and then we can prevent for the future, like for example, traumatic sterilization and prevent to visual education or teaching. The shelters are temporary, like it's not a permanent solution. For example, I put some real example that are in public, and some city like they create this to develop consciousness, like public sculpture featuring safe animals. There is a monumento called the Perro Callejero in Mexico, and it's like a sculpture. Maybe I can show you. Is this sculpture? I cannot. Okay. It's from 2008, and it represents like a dog that is a monument for stray dogs. Oops. Okay. And there is also the same thing, but with a cat in Warsaw, like this, from 2012. Okay, there are a lot of murals, for example, in Tirana, and also like streets are inspiration gallery. We can go like this because people can see a lot of things and like develop consciousness. Like for example, this, a lot of murales and things. Okay. There are a lot of examples also in Greece, also in Athens. We can see it for prevent and respect the animal rights. Like there is the gallery and everything, and she is who the idea like create this. And then there are other examples like animal in public spaces. There is, for example, this, a lot of statues and things. Like I use it for reference, so if we can like use this, like there is some ideas to recreate, for example, those idea like the Peluso, that is the Perro Callejero in Mexico, or something like this. Like for example, also paint street mural of stray dogs or cats showing emotion, stress, how people can treat the dogs, and like advices. Make a temporary public art, like to snow dogs art trails, but with stray animals figure designed by students, volunteer, or who want to do this. Organize outdoor exhibition is inspired by the Athens. Why look at the animal show with visual and message about shelter life and adoption. I think like those are solutions that everyone like can apply. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir. No. Here. So hi guys, here comes here our field experts in physics, the future of Einstein and Newton from Czech Republic, who's doing the PhD in Charles University. And he's gonna present us with his very deep analysis on various of topics that we have sent the interview, and dive deep into his workflow and various of insights he gained from the whole experiences. Which one? Oh yeah. Yeah, this one. Let me check if this is kind of shared. Yep. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's get started. The very exciting part from Pavel.
Hello, my name is Pavel Peterka. I am from Czech Republic, and I will speak about the result of questionnaire which we did during our project. In the questionnaire, we have 16 respondents from 10 countries across the whole Europe, and also 2 countries from Asia, China and Georgia. And there are up to 3 respondents from 1 country, France, and 2 or 1 respondents from other countries. Let's look into the survey results. First of all, we are interested how is the human behavior across the stray animals, and participants should vote in the range from 1 to 5, where 1 means very bad and 5 very good. And people in Germany, Czech Republic, Serbia, and Greece feel very safe across the stray animals, and in Spain and Italy, somewhat lower. And about the treatment of stray animal compared to pets, there is low treatment in Georgia, Germany, and Serbia, moderate in Italy and Spain, and very good treatment in Estonia and France. And that was about treatment from people. And now this question is focused about the public policies. In Germany, Czech Republic, Estonia, and Greece, the public policies are very human and moderate in Serbia and France. And in Italy and French, the respondents noted that the public policies are not so human. And let's look into legal framework. think this is very interesting results about how clear is the national law, how it defines the responsibilities for the stray animal controls. And here we can see where is the weakness of Greece. It's only 0.1. Then in Italy, Germany, Serbia is also not good, and it's good in France, Estonia, and the best in the Czech Republic. And countries has like different enforcement of the legal. Some countries has very big fines up to 25,000 euro in Germany or 30,000 in Greece. And in France, the abandonment of animal can be classified with heavy fines and potential imprisonment. And in China, they have their social credit system. In some cities, you can get some bad points when pet owner behaves badly. Can lead to that in the future is not allowed to all the pets. It's similar like point system for driving license, which is in many European countries. Let's look into the veterinary care countries where government support the trap, neuter, and return policies, like Italy and Czech Republic. In Czech Republic, the low-income pet owners can receive subsidy, covering up to 80% of the cost of the sterilization procedure. Or in Serbia, there is community-led programs, which is based on the sponsorship and donations and volunteering work. And the trap neuter return program sustainability is very big, very good in Czech Republic, and moderate in Italy, Germany, Estonia, Serbia, and in Greece it is also again the first case. The veterinary care is very expensive in Estonia, France, Germany, and Spain. And it's a bit better in Germany, where there is some support for low-income individuals. And there are some digital solutions in China, public services in Italy. And let's look to public spaces and coexistence. For example, in Italy and Czech Republic, formalized feeding points with registered caretaker systems. Or in Serbia, there are volunteers which monitor the designated feeding spot for stray dogs, and they can mediate the potential problems with the local people. And when you report the stray animal to the municipal, then the service is very reliable in Czech Republic, Estonia, France, and very low reliable in Greece and Italy. So then we ask the respondents what are their preferred solution, and it's mandatory registration in China, Georgia, Spain, and Czech Republic. The honor and homing in Estonia, France, for sterilization in Germany and France. And so question about the areas that need greater enforcement, which is mainly legal reform, infrastructure, and education. And many countries include some digital innovation to their care system, like mandatory shipping, which is connected with the databases, which can then lead to lost and found reporting and application of the adoption. So, okay, priorities for the reinforcement according to respondents is infrastructure in Greece, Germany, Italy, Czech Republic, and France, or legal reform for Estonia, China, Germany, Georgia, and public education, which was noted by respondents from Italy, France, and Czech Republic. And key insight from the survey is that preventive measures such as registration, sterilization, and public education prove more effective and human than reactive solutions. And I will conclude by the key priorities for Greece. From the survey, the Greece reported very low points for legal enforcement, trap, neuter, and return program sustainability and infrastructure. And I think that Greece should improve these areas to solve the problems with stray animals. So thank you.
Well, great job. I see all of stuff. Go on the door. Yeah. It's very good.
So they saw me.
Yeah, just one. Get back to this. Oh, should probably just. You put
This
it
one.
this one.
And just after I do this,
Oh, moment. No, you will kind of have to do things like this. I will show you. So here will come our lovely Julia. She's from France. She's our outreach manager, right?
Yeah.
On the social media part. She has done an amazing job for us on our social media management and engagements. Here we go for her topic. I talked about too much random things. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, you started.
So hello everyone. Today I will present my contribution to this project by focusing on communication and outreach management and how they support companion inclusive initiative in practice. Companion inclusion is often discussed in abstract terms such as ethics or policies. And in this project, however, our approach was very concrete. My role was to help translate value like empathy, responsibility, and coexistence into visible and understandable and engaging communication through social media. I made some visual documentation, design, and direct interaction with different audiences. So companion inclusive initiatives aim to promote coexistence between humans and animals by changing perception and behaviors. Rather than relying on abstract policies, our project focused on practical action that could reach people emotionally and directly. Through communication, we shaped how stray animals are perceived in everyday context, not as a problem to manage, but as living beings who share our environment. This show that creative and media-based work is not secondary, but central to companion inclusive initiatives. So a major part of my work was managing social media communication. I created content, presenting events, theater performances, and workshops with the aim of reframing narrative around stray animals. For example, instead of focusing on danger or nuisance, post allied care and responsibility and coexistence. A concrete example is a story post after we clean a shelter. The story shows the space before and after, emphasizing collective action and care for the animal. And this kind of content helped followers understand that small but concrete action matter. Social media allowed us to maintain sustained engagement and extend our reach beyond physical events. So this is another important aspect of my role was visual documentation. I took photo and video during event, workshop, and theater performance, but also during visit to the shelter and the veterinarian. Sorry, documenting moment of care and treatment. And these visuals were not only achieved, they became a communication tools. Shared online, they transformed temporary experiences into lasting educational content, allowing people who were not present to still to understand and connect with the project. I also worked on the manifesto, especially its visual design. The goal was to make complex ethical ideas clearer and more accessible. By simplifying the layout and empathizing key message, the manifesto became more than an informative document. It became a communication tool. Through accessible design, companion inclusive values were made understandable to wide audiences, showing that design itself play a role in inclusion. And I also participated directly in theater performances and workshops with children, which were central to the outreach strategy. Through storytelling, role play, and discussion, children were encouraged to reflect on stray animal and human responsibility. And during one workshop, we had a direct discussion with children. We asked them questions, and they can share their ideas and talk about coexistence. And this moment showed how direct engagement creates emotional connection, making companion inclusion tangible and memorable. Beyond school performances were also presented to broader audiences, extended the project beyond educational setting. This expansion reinforced the idea that companion inclusion is a collective responsibility relevant to all age group. Here, communication itself became a tool for social change, creating shared awareness through public and collective experience. At this stage, I would like to summarize the key strategy that structure my work. The first was strategic messaging, transforming abstract value into a relatable and actionable message. Then the visual storytelling, using photo and video to extend the life of live events. And direct engagement, fostering empathy through workshops and performances. And accessible design, ensuring clarity and inclusivity in all communication materials. And the strategy work together rather than separately. And this communication-centered approach had three main impacts. First, the visibility. The project reached multiple platforms and audiences. The second, the understanding, with the complex ethical issues became accessible and relatable. And finally, engagement, because there is so much emotional connection that encourage empathy and more responsible attitude toward animals. So to conclude, companion inclusive initiatives are strengthened not only by policies, but by practical communication, visual storytelling, and participatory engagement. Through social media documentation and design, my work clearly aligned with companion inclusive goals. And every action that connects people with animals and encourage empathy contribute to building more inclusive environment. Thank you.
So here we come another guest, and Susanna from Czech Republic, and again our lovely gentleman from France, Richard.
It's me. We're doing the.
Okay. Which one's yours? So like. Okay. So here we go. First, where comes Susanna. She's gonna talk about theater performance. So yeah, here we go. Let's give the floor to her.
Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Susanna. I'm from Czech Republic and I directed a theater performance for kids in a cooperation with another participant from Estonia called Lev. Yeah, so yes, so we made it happen. The performance was called Perfect Rescue because it was about cats and rescuing. It lasted 25 minutes. The target audience were kids and teenagers up to 15 years. And the message we wanted to give, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is help animals in need, microchip them, sterilize them, adopt, and love. Yes, love is the answer.
Love is the way.
Equipments. So what we used for the play. We used what we found. We didn't really buy something new. Yeah, so we used some fabric to do costumes and makeup that we already had to
Makeup.
Yeah.
To
do cats.
Yeah. Right, yes.
The prompts, we borrowed some and also made some. So we had like a pillow, we made a poster. We also used things available at the place in the school. So for example, the chair or table and also the technology that was in the school, like a speaker or microphone. Yeah. The team. So everyone participated, and I assigned the roles based on the experience and based on my vision, how I could picture everyone in the roles, based on their talent and personality, visual representation, and body language.
Yeah, totally.
And the application, so we performed in 2 schools, at the 66th primary school of Thessaloniki and the 4th primary school in Thessaloniki. And I would say the feedback was very positive. Yeah, I think the kids loved it. The teachers were satisfied. We got the message to them, and it was successful.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, very successful.
Actually, the kids were asking for autograph from us, signatures to me, but also to Susanna.
Oh my God.
Susanna give a signature. Do you see the image? So yeah, directors got something, some celebrity and spotlight. So it was very cool.
Yes.
It was very. Thank you, Susanna.
Mhm.
It's me now.
Yeah, now it's you.
Okay. So I made also a performance, a theater performance with everybody. We just gonna put escape. Oh no! What is the thing? The night of the street. So it's something called the night of the street cats. Tac tac tac. I will just put it in. I think they say it. Wait. The night of the freak. Yeah, I think it is.
No, I think it's.
Wow. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, just. Okay, so it's the night of the stray cats. So it's something I was thinking about performance. It's a choreographed narrative performance that will blending movement, music, and storytelling to explore invisibility, abandonment, and collective resilience through a sort of poetic metaphor of stray cats. So, oh, it looks not very good actually, my presentation. No? I don't know. It's not very good. Wait, I'm gonna switch. Well, it's okay. So I will just click like that. So the performance is set on Christmas Eve in Greece. It's a moment who is traditionally associated with warmth, generosity, and light. But yet, I think what I wanted to say is that this contrast is a bit intentional. While cities grow with celebrations, many lives remained unnoticed. And the stray cats represent those lives. They are present everywhere, but yet we don't see them a lot. They are rarely truly seen. So the start of the performance will be structured around a different group of cats, each symbolizing a social condition. You have some born on the streets, shaped by survival from their first breath. Others are fed occasionally. They have experienced kindness, but never security. And some are abandoned pets. Yeah. They were once named, once loved, but then suddenly erased from someone's life. So through movement rather than dialogues, these groups, I wanted to say, express emotional memory, caution, playfulness, dignity, and loss. And then dance on the night of Christmas, they have the ability to talk and to dance, and dance become their language. They're suggesting that when words fail or are denied, they're still body. The body still remembers and speak. At one point in the performance, the cats are dancing and they try to survive together. There will be a sort of figure who is named the Shadow Cat, who I played. And it does not represent evil on simple senses. It embodies neglect, trauma, and accumulated anger. So the shadow cat appears and will try to steal the joy and the rhythm and the music of all the other cats and to put some despair. His desire then reflects to steal the cat's whims, reflects how suffering often reproduces itself. Pain seeks company. Those who feel invincible may unconsciously try to erase others. Thank you. So that the shadow cat will ask an uncomfortable question. Why hope when history suggests abandonment will return? So this question is answered not through punishment, but through care. The shadow cat will take the despair from the other cat, but fear not. The queen of cats comes, and she represents the collective dignity of and ethical responsibility. She does not deny suffering, but she reframes it. Her role suggests a sort of philosophical stance rooted in solidarity. Healing does not come from domination, but from recognition. No one is healed alone. Then in the performance, there's a moment where the cat encircles the shadow cat and gently boop him on the nose. And it's simple, almost childlike, but it reflects a belief that tenderness can be radical. Care can be disruptive, and community can dissolve fear. So yeah, that was my performance. On a broader social level, I think that the performance will address some real issues, such as, of course, animal abandonment, lack of sterilization, tourism seasonal cruelty, and the quiet labor of volunteers. The cats do not ask for heroism; they ask for food, water, warmth, and acknowledgement. And the final message at the end is modest, almost humble, and yet I think deeply political. We are small, but our hearts are big. So yeah, dance in a sort of way becomes an act of visibility. I think Lara and Anna will speak better than me for that because she's dancers. Movement becomes testimony, and the stage become a temporary city where the invisible are finally allowed to exist together in rhythm. And all that with something I don't know. I always wanted to do this sort of performance with Radiohead music. So it was very funny. We were doing music like this. No, this one. Like this. You see the music? You don't feel the music? Radiohead. So yeah. So yeah, that is a stuff, an artistic way to help maybe and to put some sensibilization on all of this. So thank you very much. Thank you, Susanna.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for cooperating with me, even though we had very limited time
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Mhm.
We did it pretty
We
well.
did it. We did it in
The
like
organization.
in like a few hours actually, one day or two,
Yes,
just like that.
please.
So yeah, it's a big.
Because the team, we worked together. We had the vision, and
Yeah, it was a
it's
bit of a
very
challenge,
important
especially with like
believe in it, because some of the
yeah.
people didn't believe.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
they were like.
But I was like, no, I see it.
Okay,
I have
yeah.
a vision.
I think
It will be great.
this is a message to continue to believe in the project. You know, this is the message. Always believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Woo, woo.
Wow. Okay,
Namaste.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Great. Oh, wow.
Okay, everyone back. Let's wait for the next. Let me see who's the next. Oh, so let's welcome Anna and Lara, who is veteran performer in the dance sector, has been for years and years, and have giving us amazing show in the past 20 days. Yeah, everybody can remember them.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. So what's your slides? So
First one is Park Dance
okay.
by Anna Bradovic.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
But we have to.
I mean, this part, so it's a bit hard to.
How you're gonna do?
I'll also close this. So this moment, guys, we're just putting the slides properly so you can see well. Okay.
Okay, so my part that I was most focused on is nature dance. And we had many choreographies there. We danced with the trees to connect with nature. And we did it in park that is near us. How to? Okay, yeah, we try to connect with nature by dancing in it and feeling it. And also we had one group choreography in abandoned building that we also made together. So I'm gonna talk about connection between nature and dance. And that connection is really deep because both are expressions of movements, rhythm, and life. And nature is also constantly dancing. And dancers mirror those patterns of nature, turning natural motion into human expression. And many dance techniques are inspired by flowing water and stuff in the nature. And dancers rely on the ground for balance and strength, just as plants rely on the earth. And dancing outdoors often highest awareness of gravity, space, breath, creating stronger mind, body, environment connection. And in essence, dancers don't just move in nature, they move like nature, translating the world's natural energy into human motion.
And to promote these parks as well. So it was a very nice activity where we enjoyed being in nature as well.
Yeah, because we learned how to connect with it and feel it while dancing.
For the next one, this is me. My personal assignment was seasonal and community events as tools for nature-based connection and inclusion as well. So it's all very connected, but my main part was for creating a Christmas events and for making choreographies and making the full performance there. So as an individual, I was responsible for the entire process of making it, organizing, as well as Anna helped me. So this included developing the artistic concept, choreographing performances, coordinating rehearsals, managing performance, and ensuring the overall things of the event for the planning for the final execution. So we did 2 performances. Today we have another one. And through dance and through all arts, we connected with our topic as well, but mostly we wanted that seasonal feeling and to enjoy there and to make people have fun a bit. So concept of creation and thematic design for 2 Christmas events. That's one of my jobs, choreography and develop according to the Christmas theme. Rehearsal planning and performer coordination. I was the main person to coordinate all people and to show them. So I was also a choreographer and they catched it really well.
event execution and having a main part in it. Also, I was in the project, so I could have also helped on the place. The project combined both artistic creativity and practical event management, requiring time management, leadership, and problem-solving skills. So for the process of this was, of course, with like me planning the whole concept and the whole choreography and the all parts of the performance when I needed to define the theme, mood, and narrative of each part of the performance. Also, we needed to choose the music. We needed to choose everything that was according to the theme. Rehearsals were conducted to refine timing, movement, and group coordination. Finally, the events were executed live, of course. So the results were largely met and in some aspects exceeded the expectations. Both Christmas events were successfully performed, the choreography was well received, and the performance reflected the festive atmosphere. So, yeah. The final conclusion of both performances and for my personal growth, it was to strengthen my skills in choreography, to have more experience in it. It demonstrated my ability to independently manage a creative project from concept to compilation. So from the beginning to the live performing it. And the highlight of is the importance of preparation, that we need to have rehearsals, that we need to know what we're doing. Also a big part is adaptability.
Adaptability.
So we can adapt to the adjustments in the last seconds and everything. And I think we coordinated that really well. Also, we need a clear communication so we understand each other on the place, and it confirmed my interest in continuing to work on performance-based and event-focused project in the future, which was a big question for me. So it really helped me a lot. So for us, this project was mostly about making something through art and to put these themes into our artistic features that we have. So
we also did many other things, but we were focused on dancing and working on that. But yeah.
So that was it from us. Thank you very much.
To change the PowerPoint. Yeah, it's there. I think we can find yours. Where? Where do we have to go? Here.
So the next guest we have, volunteer we have is our lovely Medium from Germany, who will be talking about what's your topic?
Sound, music, and sensory experience.
Yes, sound, sensory, music experience. Put up this one.
Oh, can I start?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna just.
Where's the camera? Oh, okay. Thank you, Humbo. Okay, so first I would like to introduce myself. My name is Miriam Eckert. I'm from Germany, and I'm a teacher for music and economics, IT in primary and secondary schools in Germany. So my mission within this Pawsitive Parks volunteering project was to focus on sound, music, and sensory experiences. My part as a volunteer was in this individual project within the Pawsitive Parks projects. I did music activities with children in schools to raise awareness about stray animals through music and percussion. My target group were primary school children. We went to 2 different schools. And the indirect target also was teachers and school community. The focus was on attracting attention empathy and responsibility for stray animals. So the concept of my project was to have music as an emotional and educational tool, to offer group participation and fun, and to use percussion and animal sounds to attract attention and awareness for stray animals. First, I was thinking about different ideas for musical activities with children related to the stray animal topic. I had different ideas, like to do animal sounds and rhythmic patterns, or to rewrite and adapt a song. Or the third idea was to listen to and learn the song I Have a Pet. It's a very simple song, but it's about pets and it can cause attention. Then to build a story and to underline the emotions with percussion. And the last idea was to have a mini music theater to tell the story, the life story of a stray animal. Yeah, some of those ideas I prepared. I don't know why it looks like this, but yeah, this would be the song "Do You Have a Pet," which you could do with the kids in school. And this would be a small story about a stray dog in Thessaloniki that you could fulfill with percussion sounds to show the emotions and to have a background of the story, like soft footsteps or keys knocking, yeah, all those percussion things. Here's more ideas what sounds you could add for percussion. But then I decided to do the animal sounds and percussion. So the first idea I had it first with the pupils in the school. This is how it looked like. So when we went into the class, I first introduced to the stray animal topic. I had a small conversation, chatting with the kids. I was asking them if they would know what a stray animal is. And most of them told me then, yeah, it's dogs and cats that live on the street, that don't have a home. I loved chatting with the kids, and their English was pretty good for primary school children. Yeah, and then I asked them, oh, and what sound do they make? And then they did all those noises like meow. And I was asking them, yeah, and a happy cat makes meow, but what does a fighting cat make? And then they were like, and things like this. So we found out about different noises of stray animals, and then we tried to put them together to make a nice sound, the sound of a night of stray animals, for example. And we added steps to be at the same time. We were all like stepping on the floor. And then we built groups, like 4 groups. The first group did the sound of the cats. The second one did the sound of the fighting cats. The third one, the sound of the dogs, like whoop. And the fourth one did the sound of a howling dog, like a wolf. And it was fun. The kids liked it already, and then we added percussion instruments because kids like to have something in their hands. They love instruments. Yeah, we did this several times to have the possibility to switch the instruments so that different pupils could have the instruments too. And last, we added dynamics like crescendo and decrescendo. We made the noise louder and we get softer. They loved it. I also tried to let the pupils show if the group should get louder or softer, and they loved it, to be the person in front that everyone looks at and to increase or decrease the intensity of the noise. We had fun and we paid attention to the topic that was stray animals, even if it was so simple, by just like singing or making noises, animal noises. But after this, the people had the strays in their mind, and they were reminded of the topic that there is animals without a home that you should care about and that you can maybe improve something. Yeah, the expected results of this activity was to have fun during a group activity and also to be reminded of the stray animals in Thessaloniki. And fortunately, we got this. I want to show you a small video. This was the first group. Oh, how can I start the video? How can I? Okay, unfortunately, I cannot show the video. I don't know why. So sorry for this. But in this video, you can see the pupils doing the animal sounds. And Ambo, are you here to help me?
Yeah.
How can I show the video?
Start a video. So
It's a video, but why can I not?
Video?
It is.
Check.
It
I think
actually-
it only kind of cut you as a thumbnail in here. Where did you store the video? Because it's usually not attached together with the slides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But this is like I did the presentation in PowerPoint, and this is like Google Slides.
Yeah.
Okay, if we don't have the video, then we just have the picture.
Okay.
It's okay. I already told what I did.
Okay. But do you know like where you attach the video? Oh, like it says store the video. Maybe you can find it. Yeah, if you want to show it.
I would have to upload it, but this will take some minutes.
Okay.
Do we have those?
Or you can just show on your phone. You know, put the screen in front. Up to you. Yeah.
I think it's okay. I already
Okay.
spoke about it. But thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we added the dynamics. You can see that I went a little bit to the floor to show that they should do the sound more softly. Also, the one guy here, you can see he put his arms like this because he looked at me and did the same what I did, like showing to increase or decrease the intensity of the noises. Yeah, and this was another group. Okay, I actually blurred the faces, don't know why I didn't. But yeah, different groups, different results. But the final result was that every kid had fun, like every kid in both schools that we went. It increased empathy, empathy for the stray animals, and also it was an inclusive participation. Every child could participate. You didn't have to be a talented musician or something. You just could participate. And the final result was that there was a very active participation, even from children with special educational needs or learning disabilities or learning difficulties, because like the second school we went to was a school for pupils with learning disabilities. And they did so well and they had so much fun. And it was an easy way to catch them and to show the topic of the stray animals. So I'm really satisfied with the final results. Yeah. So the conclusion is that music is a powerful tool for awareness, that creative methods support social topics, and that even small actions can have a strong impact. And at least that teachers should be open to art and creative ideas, even if they seem unconventional or unnecessary at first sight, because creative ideas and art, something that like science cannot open. I don't know how to explain it better, but I hope you got it. And thank you for your attention. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Miriam, for your presentation. That concludes the symposium. I hope you enjoyed the presentations from all the volunteers. I'll take a moment to thank everyone for their contributions to the symposium. A thank you to Eleni, the organizer and director of SA and Roy, who led our volunteering project over these past 3 weeks. And also thank you to the European Solidarity Corps for supporting the project. We all found it really rewarding, and it's felt incredible to make an impact here in Thessaloniki, and we'll be keeping a lot of fond memories. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm now going to conclude the Zoom call.